Mayday. I was flying an Army L-20. That's a de Havilland airplane. It had single engine, really nice utility airplane, 6 places. Anyway, I was flying a top secret mission with the United States Army Corps of Engineers. The equipment that I had on board was highly classified. The co-pilot seat was taken out and they put a whole bunch of exotic equipment there, and that would have a transformer in it that would create a problem for the wet compass. It just hung up on east, no matter what. And the directional gyro on the airplane would precess, so you really had to fly by piloting. That's what I was doing this one day, and on my way back to base. I had been flying based upon railroads and other kinds of facilities on the ground. Obviously, I made a wrong turn. I ended up in a valley where I could see the base of the hills around, and those hills were formidable. I'm not sure I want to call them hills or mountains, but whatever. The solid deck ceiling had been falling throughout the day, and when I realized I was in this valley and I didn't see anything that I recognized, I began to make a turn to try to go back to where I came into it. That was closed off. In short, I was under a solid deck of clouds. I had no compass. I had no way of knowing exactly where I was. I just knew I was in some place I had never seen before. Fuel was beginning to get a problem, and so was visibility and daylight. All of this was culminating in a real problem for me. Eventually, I realized that there was no place I could put the airplane. There were no straight pieces of highway or whatever, anything that made it look like I could possibly get the airplane down safely. And here I am flying this L-20 under these circumstances, and I've got a piece of equipment in the airplane which is really exotic. In fact, it was the only equipment of its kind in the United States. Therefore, the responsibility for being able to keep it safe and intact was enormous. Well, as time went on and I began to run out of alternatives and thoughts about what I might be able to do to save myself and the airplane, I realized the fuel was becoming a real problem. I mean, the needles were down near empty. Finally, I realized I was going to have to go all the way. I called Mayday. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is Army 1981. I'm underneath a solid deck of clouds and in a valley that I cannot navigate out of. Running low on fuel, need immediate assistance. Well, I'd always been taught that call Mayday, then magic things happened. And nothing magic happened. Actually, in my ear, I heard my Mayday call, and then I heard shh. That was the only sound. There was no other sound. There was no one answering this Mayday call. I did that twice, and same results. I tried it a third time, and this time I did get a reply. It was Army squawking Mayday. This is Air Force, 2343. What is your problem? Well, I very quickly and succinctly explained that I was low on fuel and I had no way to get out of this valley safely. I mean, you could see the base of the mountains or whatever, and you could see there was space in between 2 of them here and there, but I also knew that that was a trap. What it meant was if you chose the wrong one, there was another hill or mountain behind there that you didn't see before. That is what's called a rock-filled cloud. That's the end. So anyway, I was taught to use the Mayday in a life-threatening distress, and I was. So next thing I know, I heard, Army 1981, this is Coast Guard, whatever number. Key your microphone for 10 seconds. Roger, well, I did that. Roger, Army, we pretty much have you key your mic one more time for 10 seconds. So I did that. Next thing I know, right between 2 of these hills came this Coast Guard PBY. Twin-engine airplane, amphibian airplane. It came screaming right through that pass. He said, Army, do you have us? We have you. And I said, affirmative, I've got you. He said, well, if you can follow us, we'll get you out of here. Well, I flew formation with that TBY all the way out of there, and all of a sudden I broke out and it was nothing but sunshine and beautiful blue sky. They said, the heading we have you on right now, if you maintain that, you'll fly right into your airport there at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Thank you, thank you. I couldn't thank these guys enough. And I held that heading, and sure enough, I ended up right on the nose. Fort Belvoir, Virginia. That was home for me. I reached up to turn off the engine, but it quit. I was totally out of gas. There are times when you hesitate to ask for assistance. If I had hesitated even another minute, this would have been tragedy. As it turned out, I needed Mayday, and I was so glad it was there.